there's no perfect call, and this is definitely not one of them. So what do we do? Well, what would you guys do? What do you guys recommend? What should I have done here? Obviously not refund the people the money, right? Regardless, at this point, I'm done with this call. I burned myself out, prepping it, and it's 3 hours into the call. So we get a call from a company out of someplace in the Midwest asking us to help them lift a day cab onto a flatbed, in this case a step deck. The flatbed is parked outside of a business, and they provided an address, and the day cab truck, semi-truck that is parked at the business location. They want to haul that day cab onto the flatbed someplace into the state of Texas. They called us and they provided this image of the vehicle. An older International day cab, 3-axle semi-truck. We were explained the only service needed is to lift up the truck onto the flatbed, essentially winch it up onto the flatbed from a position of the ground. Our winch services begin at our office and comprise of an hourly rate and continue until we return back to our office. A stacking or decking service usually is prorated at a minimum of 2 hours or more, depending on the type of truck or vehicle that we need to work with. We charge by the hour with a minimum of 2 hours, and any additional hour after the 2-hour increment is charged independently at an hour-by-hour rate. Depending on the vehicle, the prep work usually takes anywhere from 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the location and the type of vehicle that's needed, or the conditions of the weather, or the elements of where the vehicle is parked. Things of that nature. Chaining and strapping and securing the load itself so it can be lifted up takes some prep work, takes some time. However, before the prep work begins, we must have access to the vehicle. And in this case, as you can see here, the vehicle, which is the one in the far end next to the building, was completely blocked in by other vehicles that were parked in and around it. In addition, the vehicle were defective. They needed battery jump start services as well as starter services in order to get them to move away from the vehicle that we needed access to. This was not explained to us during the call, and we did not prepare for this. However, as you see in the following video, we tried over and over to service this call. Guys, it's Chris again. Hey, we've got another unusual call. We're going to use the medium-sized wrecker this time to deck a day cab up onto this flatbed. We're going to lift that, supposedly the one back there, up on the air and place it onto the flatbed. However, we got here and the driver says he's blocked in by this guy. He needs that jump started. So he can't move that one before we can move this one. So he's now running around trying to find jumpers. We didn't bring, believe it or not, we didn't bring any jumper cables. We had a jump box and we moved it over into the other truck. This is just a simple winch up service. Sometimes the easiest jobs are the hardest. We got called, says, hey, can you lift up our truck so we can slide our deck underneath it, literally deck it onto that platform. I said, well, we can go out there and lift it up and put it onto your deck. Here we are. We showed up. First of all, the address of this location was terrible, so the provided address was kind of hard to find, but we found it. And we get here, and now we're kind of stuck here waiting for them to move trucks so we can get this guy lifted up and repositioned. Hopefully this guy starts and moves, because if not, we got to winch this guy from this position over to that flatbed over there, and then we got to lift it up. So all those are not accounted for in our service costs because it wasn't explained to us. All it was told to us is that we just got to lift this thing up onto the deck. So our billing team only charged the guy a winch up service. Essentially, we're going to extend those booms and the winches off the truck, lift up, and he's going to slide completely underneath it. So here we go. We're going to jump this truck and get in position. I backed up this truck so we can get him some juice. We're jumping it from my battery bank to it. It's going to need to transfer quite a little bit of voltage. It's completely dead. Yeah. But these little cables are going to take their sweet time in juicing up this.
Take a little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah. So this is kind of not a service call covered complimentary. I mean, I would have had my battery box, the big box, and get this guy started right away. This is going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to charge up.
That's fine.
And we'll make it work. We'll get it started. We're going to lift this guy. We're going to lift it from the front and from the rear. The rear is already hooked up with a pintle hook, but we're not going to use the pintle hook support, so we're going to use the frame itself and lift up high up above the ground. As long as the brakes release, and that's important, because then if the brakes release, we lift the rear first up, and if the brakes don't release, we lift the front first up, and then we come back. We'll decide how we're going to lift it up depending on if the unit is a working unit or what. If you put it up on the bed with the nose first, the steers can roll forward. So essentially, if we get the nose up on top here first, lean it, lean it right here with the tires standing up here, and then we go behind it and we lift it up, and then they back their trailer forward, the front wheels will roll. Now, if we do it the other way, where the rear drives, then as long as it could be rolled, here we go, that's it. If it could roll, meaning the air compressor works and you can make air, then we can make that happen. Otherwise, it's going to be a little bit of a pain. So anyway, here we are. To get to the truck in question, we had to jump every truck around it. So with the assistance of this other driver, we were able to manage to get the batteries relocated and every truck jumped so we can move the trucks out of the way. Okay, like everything else, we're still here. Oh my goodness, it's almost an hour and a half now. What happened is, that's the customer's truck. Next to it was a truck that was broken down and the batteries didn't start, whatever the issue might have been. Next to it was another truck. And so these two trucks needed to move away to get to the customer's truck. Now the customer's truck is dead as well here. So now we can get to that truck. But now that truck doesn't want to start either. So Penske's out here to try to service that truck to get it jump started so we can move it and drive it right behind here, this truck, this trailer. Once it gets in position behind this trailer, then my job begins. And I come up and start setting it up, and setting up the chains and the winches and all that, and then lifting and then positioning it, and then he's going to roll the trailer back. My job begins finally in the prep work. He's going to try to get it over here behind, and I'm going to have to move this guy a little bit so he can make some space for it. I don't know who's driving this one. Anyway, driver positioning the truck directly in front of this. Okay, keep coming. Stop. Perfect. Because of my truck's boom reach and because of the winches not being able to lift the front nose of this truck too high, I decided that it's best if we reposition the truck in reverse and lift the drive tires up in the air first. And over and over and over and over, I explained to the driver, hey, can you please reposition this truck in reverse? However, because of language barriers and because of, I guess, confusion, the driver decided to relocate his semi-truck and trailer in the parking lot and reverse the truck and the trailer in the opposite direction. Not the actual truck that needed to be towed, but the actual flatbed that you see me leaning my shoulder on. He went around the block and came back in reverse. I said, no, we need to return or spin the truck that we are lifting. Oh my goodness. And this is where the trouble began. You see, the driver didn't understand what I was asking him, and I couldn't move the truck, and I couldn't winch it on a dime, spin it around 360 because it was not allowed in the parking lot. So the simple solution was simply drive the truck forward, do a 3-point turn, and reverse towards the deck, towards the flatbed. But the driver who came to pick up this semi-truck didn't want to do any of that. He explained something in Russian, and then he took off and left. So I was left with the truck lifted up in the air and the driver with the trailer gone. The driver is leaving. That's the driver there. I don't understand if there's a language barrier or what. All I wanted him is to spin this truck, that truck around so that way I can anchor from the rear. He didn't understand that. His dispatch wasn't able to clarify that to him. He's packing up and leaving right now. So I don't know what to do. I'm not getting paid here. I'm literally, the company is not getting paid. So what do we do with these type of calls? It's ridiculous. We came out here on the goodness of our heart sometimes to try to help somebody. And that vehicle back there is mechanically defective. It took 2.5 hours. How are you, sir? You're eating, so that's good. You mind being on camera with me? I'm doing a training video for some of our guys, younger guys. Anyway, you've been a fellow tow truck operator from
20 years.
Retired. So anyway, like I was telling him, the language issue and his dispatch, I'm explaining to him, all you got to do is spin that sucker around. Just do a reverse turn.
Yep.
He doesn't understand. I'm trying to explain. All you got to do is hop in there, start it up, drive it in reverse so I can lift it from the rear up. No, he wants it with the nose forward. I said, okay, well, then just start it up and we'll make it happen. He took off and left. His dispatch, I'm explaining to them, first of all, they're having a problem with payment. I mean, I've been here for almost 4 hours now.
You haven't been paid yet?
Not a dime. I mean, anything that they sent over to the company, it's being, I told them, I'm just going to refund your money. Just call someone else because I can't. Sometimes you get to these calls and you're doing things out of the goodness of your heart, thinking that you'll receive payment, and then they kind of.
Your insurance isn't out of the goodness of your heart.
That's true. But I was expecting payment coming up here, and then it took 2.5 hours to get that truck out of that corner spot over there. And finally, after they got it, they switched batteries around, they moved the trucks around. Now I'm getting up there, the truck dies. Like, crap, now what? So,
Well, I can hear the thing up.
Yeah, but where's the driver?
Red line.
I don't know what's going on. It's like the communication language barrier. So unless I'm able to communicate with the driver, or I guess dispatch, there's not much I can do.
His dispatch is probably no better.
Well, I'm speaking to them in English.
Oh, okay.
But they're having a hard time explaining, even though I'm telling you, your truck needs to spin around. And they're thinking, my semi-truck that's with the trailer? No, the truck that I'm towing needs to spin around. So they have 3 or 4 people on call. Anyway, I'm giving up on this call.
I
Anyway,
would.
nice to
You have a
talk
good
to
day.
you. Have a good day. So that's where we're at right now. We're kind of at the wits of understanding what to do. Truck is still sitting there. I want to service them. I want to put it up on the bed. But as you guys seen, I can't. Because the driver's not here. The flatbed decided to leave. There's the truck standing by. The hooks are still there. We took the chains out. I guess all I had to do is lift this side up. Driver didn't understand that. Truck is mechanically not working. I can't drag it through the parking lot and spin it around because these nice folks here at Performance just don't mess up our driveway. So if I actually drag the rears all the way around, kind of like this, I'm going to put holes in their gravel lot. And they instructed not to do that. So that said, I guess we'll refund the charges to these guys. And I don't know, these calls are kind of difficult. There's no perfect call, and this is definitely not one of them. So what do we do? Well, what would you guys do? In this case, you know, I spent 3.5 hours prepping and waiting on these guys and burning fuel and using my winches. I'm trying to explain to the driver the process, and they're having a terrible time understanding. Here I am without getting any kind of pay for this, since we're reimbursing the call. Wasted half a day and a lot of time and a lot of fuel. Sometimes we gotta have a better system in place. Well, what do you guys recommend? What should I have done here? Obviously not refund the people the money, right? Well, my original promise to them was that I'll come out and winch it up on the bed. Winch it up, not winch it through the parking lot, pull it down the road, tow it or anything like that. And their service fee, however cheap it was very cheap, was including only the lifting up onto the bed. And so if the driver doesn't have the patience to wait for that service call, I can't help it. Regardless, at this point, I'm done with this call. I burned myself out, prepping it, and it's 3 hours into the call. We got called on a different call. So anyway, they'll have to. We gave them a referral to a different company, so hopefully someone else can deal with this call particularly a little better than we can. But at this point, we're done. Thanks for watching.